So, not doing a normal review.
Nope.
I'm going to do a...
comparison.
Not even a comparison. It's going to be more of a kit bashing kind of...
Thoughts and opinions.
Of this guardsman, veteran guardsman kill team, the Krieg ones. And how they stand up to... Cadians, Scions, Catachan, wherever we got on our bits box, because that is what more I'm interested in. I'm here with Commissar Rex, and we're just going to have a gander at what we can do with these bits and bobs, because wow, they're so different to
Just the normal
yeah, they're
stuff.
a lot smaller. So, first off, all you're noticing is, I'm not including that, but if we have a look here, we've got special weapons, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lasguns just on this one bit here. Then we've got another one, 10, 11. So there's 11 lasguns before you even come over to this. So you've got 11 lasguns, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 lasguns.
Which is...
for 10 men. Now don't get me wrong, you know, you've got no hands on these ones, and then you've got some holstered ones, you've got some, oh, you got a long las there, so that's actually 16 las guns, because there's not another long las there anyway. No. And then we've got, for special weapons, we've got melter, flamer, got the long las obviously, a bolt gun, or bolter, bolt pistol, plasma gun, plasma pistol, got a las gun there.
There's a
Grenade launcher.
There it is.
Yeah, it's snapped.
Yes.
You know, it's loading the shell into it. Which, do they actually have a?
Oh. Killteam grenade launcher is just this one. I don't think they actually have one that is put together.
No, it wouldn't take much to like cut the hand off that, take the shell off that bit. Look.
Yeah.
There's only a thin piece of plastic there. Would not take much to actually take off the pin there, which I'm assuming is meant to slot inside. Actually, no, looking at it, that slot's in between. So, yeah, you take the shell and the hand off, clear that bit, and then you can
just
snap it back on. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's already pretty much in the shoulder, so.
Where the hole should be, though. No, that's not too much of a bother. That I would actually, if I got another one of these, I would prefer to have one loading and one not loading. See, what they really should have done is just had two different hands. You know, the barrel could stick on the end, or the hand and the barrel, just to have it upright. But
yeah.
I can't see another grenade launcher, but then saying that, they might have had two grenade launchers there in the squad, which they probably wanted just to put there.
Just leave it as one person with a grenade launcher, because they can be quite
it's a lot
painful
of heads as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm not expecting any.
11 over there.
12, 13. So there's 3 on this one as well.
Yeah. And I think that's basically.
But I was going to say,
specialist helmets.
I was going to say, you know, what's that?
That is the Bionic Hand. That's for the lasgun right next to it, because it's got the magazine out and it's loading one in.
I can see the thumb there. Yeah. That's all right. What gets me, he's still got like the cuff for the where his cuff would be on his normal arm. They put the cuff on.
Because why not?
You gotta know where your arm ends.
Yeah, that in Krieg in uniform. Must always be correct.
The plunger.
Yeah. When you want to do some demolition. Book if you ever get bored. Because
that's an interesting part that you could use for more than Krieg.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it's got a bead around the end.
The Rosarius there.
Yeah. It's actually wrapped into his hand as well, which is nice.
Yeah. Which that would be for the Veteran Zealot, I think that one is.
Yes, I think you're right.
If I remember rightly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But then looking at these, then hold on. Yeah, we've got the plasma gun there.
Yeah.
That's a nice. That's a very shotgun-esque looking.
I know, the style of it is very nice. It is a style I would quite happily put on most guardsmen.
That would look nice with Necromunda and stuff like that.
Unfortunately, I don't have a plasma gun on one of these.
Mind saying that the bolter feels a lot like that as well. Look.
Yeah.
The handle seems quite far back in comparison to.
And that magazine, dare I say, looks a bit bigger than normal.
No, that's about right, actually. But the grip underneath is slightly different. But that's more representing the other variant, not the. I haven't got one near me.
Not one of the Godwin.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
Which is to be expected.
It's supposed to be the cut down version, which I think is the lock, if I'm remembering that rightly.
I am laughing at these aerials.
Bayonets.
Hold on. You're right.
It's part of their bayonet. Because there should be one.
Yeah, I was actually looking at it the wrong way up. It looked, for instance.
That is the way it goes around. It looks like an aerial.
Actually, you could do that. Actually,
yeah.
Looking at that, you could make that an aerial. So
they are just spikes.
If you want a quick and easy comms, man, all you have to do is switch your backpack round, scrape off the insignia there so you don't have an upside down Aquila, and you're laughing.
Yeah,
but
you'll be sitting pretty.
As long as someone doesn't recognise that someone's got a very pokey up antenna in the form of a bayonet. But I'm loving the tools.
Yeah.
Hammer, and then we've got a couple of bayonets there.
I think there was a hatchet somewhere in one of these. Might have been one of the ones you pointed at. But we've got shovels down here as well.
Yeah.
One in the ground.
Yeah. A couple of shovels.
Bolt cutter, I think that is.
Yeah.
Possibly. And then obviously the med tools.
Yeah.
Plunger again, but with no hand on it. Don't know what the hell they're doing with this. Oh, that's the medic's syringe.
There's quite a few nice little.
I say medic, it should be caught.
If you got 2 of these kits, you would have way more abundant parts than you need. Like we know for a fact, looking at these 2 sets now, these are very similar, but they are actually different. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you snap that in half, you basically got a 5-man squad with a bolter, you know, and then you got you know, 1 or 2 extra weapons for like a sergeant, and all the rest of it like sword, you know, holstered gun. You're just going to be missing. You could almost make a squad from half of each, except for the pack. You know, these got the bayonets on them. These haven't. Look.
Yeah.
Not a bad little kit, but the thing is, I want to know is how do they stack up against the Acadian, because looking at these guys, they are quite. Well, the shoulders are smaller for one.
Only seem a little shorter, I think.
I was actually looking at the hands themselves. The hands actually look smaller.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be really good at it. Yeah. 2.5, and then you've got a similar approach here. Yeah, it's only. Oh no, hold on. There's a little bit difference, but it's the shape of the hand mainly. Just looking at these now, these hands are quite. They're in gloves, like they're quite boxy. whereas the Cadian hands
Just
are
normal exposed hands.
exposed hands. So they haven't got that armor back plate on the back of the hand.
Which is a shame, really. Especially when you think of all the stuff these guys get up to. Having your hands exposed whilst you deal with the horrors of the universe. You might need your digits.
I'm just looking. The rifles are actually almost the same size. They actually look smaller until you've actually put two of the guns next to each other. Look.
No, they are thinner, less boxy, but that's to be expected with the way they're designed.
Yeah, I was just expecting them to be smaller. Looking at them, they look so much thinner, but they're not. It's like you said, they're not, because they've got all these grooves in them and everything. They look smaller, but when you
they
put
look
them
a lot more spaced out.
when you put them next to each other, they're not too bad. And like I said, that would be a nice switch over for if you were doing like a ragtag group of like mercenaries or something like that. Mixing the two guns together would be a nice change. But I'm just looking at the size of the flamer.
Yeah.
Look at the size difference between those two flamers.
Yeah, don't even need to get it that close, and already you can see that is thin compared to that.
You know, you're talking about from end to trigger, it's 21. When I said that, I was just doing that, but that's literally holding the pipe. So keep the pipe in before.
Hold it in place before it just suddenly disconnects and you find yourself doused.
To be honest, I'm
underneath
pleasantly surprised to see that these ain't drastically smaller. The arms look baggier on these because the clothing makes them look baggier, but I want to have a bigger laugh now. Pass me the box by you under the sprues there. Couple of sprues. I'll get that ready in a second. But another thing I need to look at is the legs, because
they look meatier than those just from looking at them where we are.
The heads are going to be a bit odder on these because the masks.
They take
look,
up.
It's eye level by the time you get to the back of the head, whereas the guardsmen have necklines.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be able to really. You would need some green stuff to put them on Cadian bodies.
If you really wanted. But yeah, that size difference is substantial
so
with the
where's
heads.
the body? I'm just going to try and line up the camera. So yeah, so you can see that it would work. But the bodies look taller, but they're not. It's because of that neckline. The legs, on the other hand, the same problem. They look smaller, but they're not overly different. See? Look.
No,
They just look slightly skinnier, like at the bottom of the ankles, because there's no armor plating. Because these guys,
they have got
armor
shin
plating.
guards
It's
on.
just
A shin guard.
No, not these ones. You're thinking of the other ones. I was just going to say they got boots. It's just one or two of them got a bit more armor on the front of the, a fold or something like that.
Is
Oh, it is a bit of armor, is it?
a little bit of a ankle guard for some reason. Don't know why they have an ankle guard.
Yeah, you can see it strapped over there.
But
no, with these guys, it's just more
wrapping.
of a shin more than anything, all the way down, so it looks a bit skinnier. It isn't. Was there a comms pack on this?
There should be somewhere.
Comms. Maybe a bit easier. There, that one.
There it is.
So the comms is definitely smaller when you look at this honking chunker here.
Yeah.
And that little box there.
It's
yeah.
That's a lot of difference between the box kits for some reason.
Yeah, that is a lot smaller compared to that beast.
Yeah. To be totally honest, I do prefer that over that.
I think this was just the fact that it had a megaphone on it.
Yeah.
And I must admit, these do last. Because the amount of aerials you see on some of the models from here and there, they bend.
Yeah.
With these, they were like, don't get me wrong, I've cut these off now and got a paper clip and just stuck it in the top and just painted it. Just because if it gets bent, I can just bend it back. And even if I had a bent aerial, it just looked more realistic anyway.
Yeah.
But right,
do like those a bit more than that, but
kick bashing. As long as you had a bit of green stuff for the Cadian bodies, you could use the heads. Even the backpacks, well, those will fit
anybody.
Even
really.
though they've got these holes in the backs, which I'm not too fond of. But it does help. It does help line up the packs perfectly. So let's have a laugh, shall we? Let's have a laugh.
Let's see about their more armoured cousins.
I was thinking about their less armoured cousins, but
oh. Yeah, they're armed, aren't they?
yeah. Well, that would not be too far off either. But I was thinking earlier how much work it would be just to use a head, just a normal head on a Krieg's body, even though it's never heard of really. But trying to get through that neckline wouldn't be too much of a bother looking at it. It's just a little block, but what you could do is just go from above, drill down into that, drill down into that and make a collar.
I was going to say it makes a bit more of a shelf for a
make
normal
a
head
collar.
to sit on.
But you got to be very careful what head to pick, because looking at their neckline, you'd have to make sure the head's quite thin, because there is some chunky heads in here. But no, looking at the flamers and stuff like that you would get, that's more of a space marine flamer. But even the lasgun, that's what I was looking for. Even the Katchan lasguns, they're not,
they're just a little bit shorter.
Yeah. It's because of this midsection.
Yeah.
This is not in that casing. Triggers also a lot smaller and stuff like that. It's a lot more. I just realised something as well.
No pistol grip?
No pistol grip.
They are old school in the way their
Like
rifles
M1
are made.
kind of.
Yeah, M1 Garand kind of build. Can't remember what the actual designation
Wouldn't
is,
it be
but
nice?
everybody does that.
Wouldn't it be nice if they just left the pull trigger on and cock it? Like,
Yeah.
that would be funny. Okay. What else have we got in here to check? It was one other thing. I was thinking about, like, Scions seem a lot more armoured than these guys. Look at the size difference in that. So let's get a closer picture of that. But yeah, just using that holster down because it looks the same shape. You can see it is a lot more armoured. But that's also a good thing, because technically if it's as armoured as that and you wanted to make like a say that you're using these Kriegsmen as normal guardsmen, because there's enough guns here to do that, you could easily get some Scion bits and like give them armoured shoulders, because most of them are in cloaks anyway.
And their grenadiers, I think, had a little bit of extra armour anyway. So
yeah,
basically,
but say
they're
that you
stormtroopers.
Yeah, so like the old school stormtroopers, you wanted them to have that. What was it? Kazakhstan.
The
stormtroopers for Cadians.
Yeah, the Kazakhans.
Yeah. Well, basically they just had knee pads, bigger shoulders,
and
boxier boots and stuff like that.
They actually had the carapace armour, which was everywhere.
It would not take much to swap these weapons over. I wouldn't have thought.
No.
So you could actually theme your army completely in
Krieg.
Yeah, Krieg. Would be interesting. If they don't do this a standalone set, I would be disappointed, because look, I was skeptical at first when I was looking at this. thinking about how much of this could I kitbash, but the sheer amount of extras that you'd get from the box, I guess.
There's plenty you can work with.
Yeah, not so much heads. You only given a couple more heads, but
weapons galore.
by the time you've given one of these fancy coats and whatnot that you get with the Scion command kit, I think it was.
Yeah.
To best of Scion kits, you could easily just take one of the heads and put, mix and match but all parts. There we go, another Scion box stuff. Yeah, I think we do. Let me just go and see if there's anything in that one.
There should be.
Nope. There's something in here.
I don't know if that's one of my untouched kits.
No.
No, that is one I have butchered. After realising that it's a 5-man squad, not a 6-man squad.
No, I was just thinking, it would, a lovely flag to just smooth off all green stuff and put a different banner on. That's fair enough. That's like it's easy enough to. But I was just thinking, it would not take much. Don't worry, I wasn't expecting any legs in here to check, and you wouldn't use the heads anyway. But for every set, you could get 3 more heads.
Yeah.
Basically, how can I put it? By the time you got like 3 troops, you've got 9 extra heads.
Yeah.
So you might be able to bash yourself one for like a heavy weapons trooper, or give a slightly different head to like a flamer unit or something like that, just so they look. So you can get away with just one more head to use for a squad.
And that one guy looks quite standalone, and if he's something specialised, like you said, a flamer, makes him stand out for his role.
But I'm just wondering, we'd have to give it a try at some point, is how well cutting some of these legs, cutting the cape, clearing out the cape here, hollowing it out a bit more so it isn't that lip, because that is going to hold on to there, look.
Yeah.
And it sits in. And trying to put some of these Scion legs on instead.
Yeah.
Maybe for a bit more armour look. Even though you could green stuff some pads on. Green stuff some pads on. But the fact that they've got the boots and stuff, and then the arms, you could try and make a veteran unit while keeping the cape
the core
aesthetic.
Krieg look.
Yeah. And also the chest and whatnot. It would be doable. It would be doable. It would be nice to give that a crack at some point, or at least hint at you to do it.
Around to it eventually.
But
look at my stack I've got going.
But no, I think that would work well. That's another thing I wanted to check up though. How many kneeling guys is there in this box?
I think there was the one for the long last.
Right.
But it's just going to take me a few seconds to find out which was the lead.
Yeah, I'm just checking now.
Running.
Well, according to this, there is. There goes my phone again. Yeah, it could be made into a sniper, a prone, or a plunger guy.
Yeah, there's one kneeling guy here. Might want to show that actually on camera that I found it. And I don't know where his corresponding leg is. Ah, that's it, right next to it there. Right under my freaking eyes.
Yeah.
You got that one there, but I think he is the only kneeling option available.
Yeah. It's like, 3A, which is just 3 parts. A22, A24, A23, A22 through 24, yeah. So
24 and 23.
Yeah, 22 that.
Yeah.
That. So
Yeah,
basically, I bet you there's one on this one as well, though. Exactly the same.
Yeah.
20.
19 and 18. 20. That's at least what I'm thinking anyway.
So there's 2 sets, you said?
By the looks of it.
Because I was just thinking, because you could make a heavy weapons team, see? You had that one. It doesn't matter about the secondary guy, because the secondary person could be like feeding ammo or scouting or something like that next to them. But the actual main person, if you want to try and kitbash like a rocket launcher squad or something like that, you have that one double team for that squad, wouldn't you? So you could, like, looking at them, that one there and that one there. Those 2 in it.
Yeah.
And they would be your, like, one could be like a medic or whatever you wanted to do it. The other one could be holding like the heavy bolter turret.
Yeah.
And whatnot. That's if you don't want to put it on wheels, because to be honest, it does suit the wheels. And it wouldn't take much to cut some wheels.
That was also part of the Kriegman line, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They had either a multi-las or it was an auto gun. You can't remember. That was just on wheels.
You haven't got one heavy weapon squad to hand over there,
Buried somewhere. Give me a second. It is the cannon.
Right, just using that one for example. If, for instance, the tripod, look, the tripod for instance, where the axle, either the top of the legs here is now that place. See, there's one hole at the back and 2 at the front. If you extended that one slightly back and put like 2 little diddy wheels and then just put an axle at the sides here, yeah, you could try and make it doable for like on wheels, because it does make me laugh when you look at such a heavy weapon with the old that does not look like it's going to move up with the squad. It never has. It's meant to be in place.
Yeah, you're literally part of the bunker line and you're not moving anywhere until you're finally dead.
Not like the Killteam ones, which are literally on. I don't know if you can still buy them actually, but they were literally just little.
Yeah, they were shortened.
It was just like an eye shape, but at the one end you got like a longer top with 2 wheels. I've got a box of them somewhere here, but
find them eventually.
But yeah, it's the same with the heavy bolter.
Yeah,
it's actually the same with the heavy bolter. You know, you got the pegs in there for the legs. There'd be nothing stopping you like extending them forward, putting the wheel there, and then bringing them back, so they could just push it along, kind of thing, and set up quickly. It'd be more mobile than in place. But
getting to a place where they're supposed to do their job and suppress a target.
If I tell you what, by the time you've had like 2 packs of these, you've got yourself 6 more heads. Well, I think it was 6 more heads. A couple more heads, a load more guns. You could start like you could get yourself one of these, and you could make a veteran squad.
Yeah.
Armor. The only problem is the bodies, because you're sacrificing these torsos, see, to make your squads. So sticking the heads on those other guys, that would be easy enough.
Yeah.
Sticking the guns would be easy enough. Giving these guys a little bit of a cape aspect, we should go with these kind of things. And there's how many backpacks is there on these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, including the comms. So there's another. That's 11. So I think that's about 12, including the flamer tank.
Yeah.
That's if you got a flamer. So we'll still call it 11. I always count the comms. 10 without the comms though. So it's 10, and then you got an extra. What is there any on that one now?
Well, technically you've got this for the comms as well.
Is that a back-mounted one?
It is a back-mounted one because it's got the slot on the back for it.
Right.
But essentially it is another comms kit by the looks of it. It's a field radio. It's even got a little crank at the side. I don't know what that down there is for, but there's the phone
That's
at the bottom.
Plunger, isn't it?
No, there's the phone at the bottom. There's a crank handle there. And I'm going to assume that might be an aerial. It might sit more like that. Imagine tip of my finger is the top of the trooper.
Yeah.
It would probably sit more like that.
I'll have a look now.
And someone just runs up, yanks from the bottom, maybe. I don't know.
Well,
Oh,
you're
no, yeah,
going to be
that would
building these, so are you just going to keep them as Krieg for now, is it?
Yeah, well, I have.
That is comms veteran, actually.
Yeah,
Is that the comms? Because that's an aerial, apparently.
yeah.
I wasn't too sure. So that one...
Might be another style of comms.
I'm just checking.
You got two different styles. You can have one that looks like it preaches to you, and then you can have one where it looks more like he's basically just following the sergeant around so he can make reports on the regular.
Yeah.
Or, start screaming in for that artillery barrage that they so love.
What number is it?
For
this one.
that one is 20.
That's not 20.
There's like 20 up here.
Because the legs were 20.
Oh, 90.
90.
Sorry.
90.
Don't ask a dyslexic person what numbers mean. You'll find out something different.
That's why I asked you again. 90. There's not even a general. Right, trooper veteran, no. That one, no. I can't find it.
Oh yeah, I forgot they also had the flare gun as well. Which I'm sure someone can turn around and make that look more like a las revolver, if you want to call it that.
Where's that now?
You got the flare gun there?
That actually looks pretty cool for a revolver.
Yeah.
I like the way the hammer's back on it as well.
Exactly.
It does look like it's ready to
go
let one off. No, I can't find that pack. 85, 85. 89.
Who's he supposed to be on?
I don't know. It doesn't clearly state. Oh, no, sorry. I found it. A spotter.
Spotter.
It would make sense now, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense. And actually, that pack then, if that, if you were using a sniper, then fair enough. But if you're using this as a normal guardsman unit, you could put that with your heavy weapons squad. So one would be firing, and that one would be spotting.
Yeah.
But no, that makes more sense now. And that is an antenna. I said it would look a bit weird. See? That looks like a lovely team to put together, I must admit.
Yeah.
You know.
It's going to be fun when I get round to finally putting these guys together.
I'm more interested to see how many bits are left over after you've done. Because that is going to be a lot of bits.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if you were on eBay or something like that and you've seen masses of these bits. I would not
Yeah,
be
a lot of the spare weapons and what have
yeah.
you.
Mind saying that, if I was a person and I finally got myself hands on a Kriegsman kit and I was a guard player, that would be the last thing I'd be doing, because I'd be keeping the guns and everything as they say, something new!
Yeah.
And you'd be keeping it for other teams or your Imperial Guard army. But no, that was a very, very nice kit. Very, very... Yeah.
Well, going back, as you said, of people keeping hold of it, I would definitely be keeping hold of it just for the las guns.
Yeah.
Which is saying something, because I typically don't really like las guns.
No,
because
you're
pew
more
pew
of an
in
auto gun.
the far future is.
So those two halves as well make up an open bag that I'm assuming that fits inside. That's
Possibly.
actually that actually looks about right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to look up because I'm looking at everything, but that looks about it's about the same size. But no, that's a very nice kit.
And they have a surprisingly large amount of pouches or extra bits you can add on.
Yes, I'd noticed that. Like, there's grenades and pouches, there's binocular pouches by the looks of it, then they've got all sorts of grenades,
Yeah, other bits.
Binoculars.
Yep.
Oh, hold on. Is that a compass? Or a stopwatch?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because, Krieg are that old-fashioned.
Mind saying that, you could just clip off that tiny little niblet there and make it into a compass if you really wanted to.
And that way you can say that they just happened to be lost.
Hey, come on. If they use a compass, it sounds like something they would do.
Yeah.
Not a service log going.
Please turn right. Make an immediate U-turn.
40 over crest.
The Emperor commands you to turn around.
No, they'd never turn around.
No.
They would just go right round until they're back where they needed to be. Anyway, I hope that's informative in some sort of way for anyone that might be wanting these kits to spruce up their other teams. And they do seem very nicely detailed, and I must admit, this particular kit, I just noticed, because normally if it's the bad, then I do notice, is the fact that there's no mold lines.
Yeah, they came out quite clean.
They're very clean. Very, very clean. Very nice. Very nice. For you.
Yes.
No cleaning for you.
Yay.
But, yeah. Very nice. Well, I hope that helped someone. And catch you again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.